Hi everyone. We ended up going off script from our original schedule, which was to do a formal presentation in this 7 to 8 o'clock hour, and we ended up spending about 45 minutes or an hour on our pair programming and discussion. So I wanted to walk everyone through some of the resources that we covered. So the first one here, general info. While we work on getting our Python site up and running, we have a GitHub pages, klepuladies.github.io, that is kind of a landing page for useful resources. So a little compendium. You can find all of our socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We have a Medium publication if anyone is interested in writing for us. Or if you have a Medium blog, then you can be a guest writer, so guest contributor, and then here a link to our meetups. And then if you are not already connected to the PyLadies Slack, slackin.pyladies.com is how you can get in on that. And then there's the Cleveland Tech Slack as well, cleveland-tech.slack.com. And then we don't talk about Kleppy enough, but the Cleveland Python user group is another place that you can connect with Python in this area. They meet the second Monday of every month, so they will be meeting in 4 days. On the topic of coding and speaking and writing, we have a paper call event page. If anyone wants to practice submitting talk proposals, you can submit for us. Come speak. We would like to stream at least 30 minutes of each meetup, and that is a lot easier to do when we have formal presentations. So if you would like to prepare a talk, we would love to stream it. And if you prefer us not to stream your talk, that's fine as well. We will stream something else for the evening. And then also the source files for this page itself are in a publicly available repo that's hosted on GitHub, so you can contribute to that. And then slide decks for this meetup itself. I'm going to go to those from the comments just so that you can see all of the things that we posted, and I will add those to the GitHub pages. So we opened an environment on pythonanywhere.com, and that was a nice way for us to get an introduction to the Python language in a Python environment without actually having to download and install Python or decide what text editor we wanted to use or get into the terminal. And so once we had opened a file, so we just created a file in Python Anywhere. So you sign up for Python Anywhere, create a file, and then when you open that file and start working, this is the kata that we worked through, and it's a very beginner-friendly intro to programming in Python kata. So if you find that that is too easy, you can find your own kata. That's fine. This is just the one that we started with tonight and kind of got us off on a discussion between Python and the languages that everyone in the room was coming from. So it ended up being very valuable there. Oh, here's the code kata. This is just info on what a code kata is. This is the kata that we did. And then here, the speaking slide deck, we kind of bounced back and forth between the blogging and speaking because blogging came up organically in our kata discussion. So when you run into a problem, might as well blog about it. And that is one of the, might as well write it down. That's one of the blog ideas, one of the ways that you can get ideas for your blog. So all of the slides from the proposed presentation, or we did go through all of the slides and talked about them and made sure that everyone felt like they understood why we gave them that feedback, we gave them that guidance. And then there are other resources you can go to. The scope of this presentation is not meant to be comprehensive, so this is just generally, hey, we think you should be writing, but let's make sure you understand why it's important. So it's for your own benefit, it's also for the benefit of others, and it benefits you in ways you might not even realize. So we kind of pointed some of those out. And then here, is that list that I was talking about of just ways to generate ideas, things to be thinking of. If you're working on a project, that's something that you can be writing about. If you are having a problem and you're going through and you're working on solving it, problem solving or ongoing challenges, things that keep coming up, questions that you keep asking or that you keep answering for someone else. So if you get asked something 3-4 times, maybe the 5th time you should give them a link to the article that you wrote about it. So that is that in a nutshell, and this is where we spent the most on hands-on, English. Most hands-on part of it was just going through and opening up a bunch of the blog platforms, and those are listed in the speaker notes. And so we changed the scope of this challenge because we spent so long in discussion for the evening. Instead of writing and publishing a post tonight, get started writing somewhere and publish a post by Sunday. So we have decided that most of us have sites that are either where we want them to be or non-existent, and for the people that have something that's it's a working site but it's not set up for a blog, Medium is a great place to start with that. So we have some people that are going to get in touch with their inner medium over the weekend. And then the other slide deck, just brief run through the speaking one. This is something that is, again, not meant to be comprehensive in scope. This is just a general overview of why it's important for you to talk and how to get started with that. So there are lots and lots of links. So open these slide decks. The value is in discussing these with other people. The value is in going through and clicking on those repos that are way at the end here. Okay, so this slide has a bunch of resources. So this one right here, I would say is the most comprehensive. It has the most resources for the widest variety of people. And then we have some Python specific ones as well. So the reason we think you should talk is there are a lot of male voices in tech, and women and girls need to see that we code too. It also helps you identify what you've learned, and keep in mind what you have to say matters. A talk does not need to be 100% unique and profound to be valuable. You can put your spin on things. That's great. Make it yours. Make it unique to you. But it does not have to be the only time someone has ever said that in all of history. I think that is a big barrier that people put in front of themselves, is thinking that their talk needs to be 100% unique and profound. It probably won't be. It may eventually be, and that's great, but that's not where you will start, and you don't need to. So get started. And here's a process that you can work through to come up with some sort of an idea to start from. That's probably not the talk that you will ultimately end up giving, but consider what you have done in the past and look for ways that you can connect that to what you are doing in tech. So if you were coming from another career, this is about framing your experience and your strengths as they relate to what you are doing now in tech. It does not need to be a super technical talk, but there should be some technology in there because these are tech talks that we are talking about. And then say some of them out loud. Try your pitches, write them down, and then iterate through the development of that pitch. So find an opportunity to base your outline on. Think of somewhere that you hear some upcoming ones. We and Kleppy have open calls for proposals, so you can propose whenever. We would love to hear from you, and we would love to make it work if it doesn't work this month or next month. Kleppy also has a planned module of the month, so that's just doing a high-level overview / a little bit of a deep dive to walk us through some example code or an example from one of your favorite Python packages, or just a package that you just found out about. Teach us something about Python. There are a lot of Python packages out there. So we're not going to know about all of them. Find one that you can enlighten us about. And speaking doesn't have to be at a conference, right? You can be giving talks at meetup groups. Right here, we've got the Kleppy meetup on the boat. Woo, so much fun. They've got a really nice display. So you can have slides and code examples. It's pretty fun. Outline a first draft, and that will depend on what call for proposal you chose. Okay, make sure that you are basing this off of something. You're not just speaking out into the ether. You're not just talking to yourself. You are actually designing your talk for an audience. So here are some common components that you can be developing regardless of your call for proposal, but make sure you read the requirements carefully. And then again, links to those slides later on that have the bunch of resources. Make sure you seek feedback. So if you don't know what a rubber duck is in the tech context, it is just someone that you are bouncing ideas off of, but really you just need to say it out loud, and then you will realize what you were needing to do or what you were trying to get at. So this can be literally a rubber ducky, or you can be in conversation with someone and you're talking, and you have that eureka moment, and that person has just acted as a rubber duck for you. So you can start there, but don't stay there. Have other people read your proposals. Talk to people about it. If you're not sure where to start, put out an open call for feedback on your talk. You can do that in Slack. You can do it in Twitter, wherever you can get professional feedback. But please be respectful of others' generosity. Don't rush volunteers. So probably don't try and ask the night before something is due, because you're going to be rushing people. If someone is volunteering, okay, great, fine. If they don't feel like they are rushed, if they have the time, the night before can work, but don't expect it. And you're the one who needs to do the work. So if you go out there and you say, I need a mentor, be my mentor, you're, one, being really demanding, but also, what is that person supposed to be doing for you? You are doing the work. You are coming and saying, here's what I have. Will you look at this for me? Or here's what I have. Who will look at this for me? Or here's what I have, and someone else may volunteer to look at it for you. Right? You are doing the work, and they can give you feedback. But make sure that you are asking meaningful questions. Don't just say, what should I do? Or what should I write about? Or what should I speak about? Make sure that you are saying, here is something that I have, or here is my idea. Here is what I am offering. And then you can start with general. What do you think of my idea? Or do you think that this is a talk people will want to go to? And they can give you guidance on how to answer those questions for yourself better in the future. So they may not answer the question that you asked. They may give you guidance to help you answer it for yourself. So you need to be prepared not to be handheld through the process. And then as you're going through, your talk is going to change from start to submission, and that's okay. You're starting with an idea, but you have to start, right? If you just say, well, I suppose I should probably talk at some point, but you don't think that what you have is ready, it's never going to be ready until you actually start. So take the feedback that you get from whoever is reading through your submission, take the resources that you have here, glean what you can from them, and start something, because know that it is going to change. Take that feedback, change, and iterate through that process as many times as you need. Say it out loud, practice it at a meetup, practice it in front of the mirror, practice in front of, I don't know, G.I. Joes, dolls, red blank whiteboard, practice it in the car, practice it on the train, but maybe not too much on the train, because you will get some funny looks, and just practice. So that is mostly all that we have. I just want to do one last shout out. We have Django Girls Django Girls Tutorial Day, a workshop coming October 6th. Applications close in 9 days. So this is a free workshop. This is provided free of charge to participants, and it is a workshop on the Django web framework. So this is like Rails Girls, or I don't know if .NET has something like that, but it's a web framework. So if you're new to programming, it's low barrier to entry. or if you're coming from another language, it translates really well, and we can give you extensions to go forward after that workshop. And then we will also be partnering with them going forward for mentorship, support, and growth opportunities afterwards with Cleveland Pie Ladies. So these are wonderful people putting this on. We're really excited to have them on October 6th and to keep reaching out to people in the Cleveland area. So if you already know Django, or if you're not available that day, or if you're just not interested, please share this with someone that you know who is interested in learning to program or is interested in learning about Python. Or if you do data science in Python and you just want to learn about web development, that's great too. So thank you. And I hope that you look through those resources. Have a great weekend.